कितनी देर स्टार्ट होगा। मैच स्टार्ट होने वाला है, दोनों टीमें पहुंच चुकी है यहाँ पे मैदान के अंदर और अब बिल्कुल आपके लिए कंटिन्यूस लाइव अपडेटेड लेके हम पहुंच गए हैं लाइव अपडेट्स के साथ। मैं जावेद खान हमारे यूट्यूब चैनल आवाज़ नेशन पर आप सभी लोगों का स्वागत करता हूं। चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए, बेल आइकन दबा दीजिए। यहाँ पे कोई दुबई से, कोई दिल्ली से, कोई बिहार से, पुणे, पाकिस्तान, इंडिया, हिमाचल, पाक, उत्तर प्रदेश, लखनऊ, सभी का स्वागत है भाई। वेलकम आप सभी लोगों का आवाज़ नेशन यूट्यूब चैनल पर। चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए, सभी मैचेस आपके साथ हम देखेंगे। और वहीं पे दोस्तों, अगर आप ऑनलाइन आईडी लेना चाहते हो तो ऊपर नंबर लिखा हुआ है, बिल्कुल एक लड़की बोलेगी, बहुत शानदार आवाज़ है लड़की की, ट्रस्टेड बंदा है, आप ज़रूर ट्राई करके देखिएगा। उसी के साथ दोस्तों 1800 लोग मैच देख रहे हैं, क्या हम वीडियो पे 1200 लाइक नहीं कर सकते? मैं 1 2 3 एंड लाइक बोलूँगा, एक साथ लाइक बटन दबा देना। आपका ज़्यादा टाइम नहीं ख़राब करूँगा, इंग्लिश कमेंट्री के साथ आप अभी लौटने वाले हैं हम जल्दी। और दोस्तों जल्दी से क्विक कॉल, कौन सी टीम जीतने वाली है? एमआरएस वर्सेस सीसीपी। वीडियो को लाइक करके एमआरएस वर्सेस सीसीपी बताओ भाई जल्दी, एमआरएस या सीसीपी? कमेंट पढ़ पा रहा हूँ, कौन बता रहा है बिल्कुल सही आंसर? मेरा नाम लो दीपक शाह, स्वागत है आपका, आपका नाम ले लिया भाई। थैंक्स फॉर लाइव वीडियो सोलेमन, वेलकम। चलिए दोस्तों अब एंजॉय कीजिए आप मैच को, मिलते हैं थोड़ी देर बाद। वीडियो को लाइक कर देना, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर देना। कमेंट्री हिंदी में सुननी है या इंग्लिश में, वो भी मुझे कमेंट में बताते जाएं। चलिए दोस्तों एंजॉय कीजिए मैच।
Beat Aston Villa 3-1. Second delivery slash and almost carrying to the backward point. Travel very quickly there, Greg.
Yes, good shot there by Michalry, but good stop as well. So good all-round cricket.
Yes, nice aggressive shot. So Shalry is one, Emmanuel is not. And that's down the leg side, and that's going to help the scoring. It's 4 runs being signaled. Managed to take advantage of the line, but got a little bit of bat to it. Yes, definitely helping it, almost driving it down to long leg. So, forward or loss. Salary is 4. St. Rose. From the commentary box then, a warm afternoon. Good evening to all in India and belated Happy Mother's Day. Belated, well not belated so to speak, this is still in the afternoon, maybe it is Mother's Day lunch around. I know Roland Cox might have been cooking before he came for Mother's Day. I wouldn't want to say what he did. What he said, that's outside the off stump. He spotted it. Greg, you said that you're pretty good in the kitchen. Did you cook any Mother's Day early lunch?
No reds. As a matter of fact, my mom has invited me for lunch after the game.
Well, what a son. What a son. Even Roland Cox not giving you marks for that. And Rose goes in and clipped away. Third man will come around. They take one, but they'll change their mind about it. You got to really be confident about the second run. 5 without loss. So Arsenal and West Brompton to come. And as we heard this morning, Trinidad and Tobago will not be getting the South African tour, obviously because of the pandemic, and they have not opened their borders, so everyone will have to quarantine. We hope that St. Lucia may have an opportunity to host some of the coming tournaments. Pakistan, South Africa, Australia to play a white ball. It's the left-hander, Emmanuel on his right. And that will be something that he had to run towards it, wide outside the off stump, 6 without loss. We haven't got our usual crowd because today is not a centre here at the Darren Islami for vaccination. There's a solitary slip. A St. Rose goes in, and that's down the left side, and wide call. So I think we was quite spoilt in the first game with the bat dominating so much, Greg. There one too many wides.
Yes, very few wides in the first game, Reds. We saw a domination of bat, but this time around, that's not the case.
Extras mounting, that's cut, and not really getting on top of it. Took the edge, and diving effort by the solitary wide slip to get a hand to it, and it rushes into the third man boundary. So the over is completed. The one report stars will be quite happy that they're up to 11 without loss, Greg, and if they can maintain that, they'll be challenging getting 100. That they're up to 11.
Good stats. Good. They would be pleased with 11 on the board and no loss of wickets. The first game they played, they actually lost a wicket in the very first over. So they would be happy with their position.
So a little bit of equipment change. Interesting story coming out of England.
यहाँ पे तो दोस्तों यहाँ पे एक ओवर की समाप्ति के बाद स्कोर हो चुका है 11 पे, एक भी आउट नहीं है। अब नए बॉलर जो अटैक में आए हैं वो है एनजे ओवर द विकेट, ये बॉलिंग करने वाले हैं। और दोस्तों इस ओवर में आपको क्या लगता है कितने रन आने वाले हैं? दूसरे ओवर की पहली बॉल आप गैस कर सकते हो, क्या स्कोर आएगा? 0, 1, 2 आउट या फिर 6? जल्दी से अपनी कमिटमेंट बताइए। आप हर बॉल की कमिटमेंट कीजिए, जैसे 1.1 उसके आगे आप बताइए कि क्या स्कोर हो सकता है। देखते हैं हमारे कितने व्यूअर्स हैं जो बहुत अच्छे से गैस कर पाते हैं। और दोस्तों वीडियो को लाइक कर दो यार, आप सभी लोगों से रिक्वेस्ट है, लाइक्स करना बहुत ज़रूरी है। आपका प्यार इसी तरह बने रहना चाहिए। चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए क्योंकि हम आपके लिए लाइव मैचेस लाते रहते हैं।
Gallery 6, Emmanuel 4, 12 without loss. And one is a London club and one is a club way out of London. So not an option. Already no one will turn up at White Hart Lane. There's no public, of course, here in this competition. Given permission to operate, but with all of the protocols, and I hope that all has been monitored. And that's an awful swipe losing.
1.2 जिसने 0 गैस किया था वो बिल्कुल सही किया था। अब 1.3 पे आप गैस कीजिए क्या स्कोर रहेगा। देखते हैं आप में से कितने लोग बिल्कुल सही बता पाते हैं। 1.3 का बताओ आप। और दोस्तों जिसका सही गैस किया था 0 का वो वीडियो को लाइक ज़रूर कर दें। और दोस्तों चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए, हम आपके लिए ऐसे ही कमिटमेंट लाते रहते हैं कमेंट्री के साथ। और यहाँ पे बिल्कुल सही गैस किया था जिसने तीसरी बॉल पे एक सिंगल बताया था। चलिए अब 1.4 का गैस कीजिए मेरे भाई, 1.4 का गैस कीजिए। 3 हो चुकी है। और वीडियो को लाइक कर दीजिए, जिसने लाइक नहीं किया आप सभी लोगों से दिल से रिक्वेस्ट है मेरे भाइयों। यहाँ पे दूसरे ओवर की 3 बॉल हो चुकी है, स्कोर हो चुका है 13। दोनों खिलाड़ी खड़े हैं, नाबाद अभी तक कोई विकेट नहीं खोया। ये चौथी बॉल, बल्ला घुमाया है गैप के अंदर से और फील्डर पीछे मौजूद, सिंगल लेना चाहते थे लेकिन नहीं ले पाए। जिसने यहाँ पे 0 बताया था वो जल्दी से वीडियो को लाइक करके कमेंट में मुझे बताओ कि 0 किसने बताया था। और जिसने नहीं बताया था वो 1.5 बॉल का गैस बता दो कि क्या स्कोर रहने वाला है 1.5 पे। और यहाँ पे मैं गैस करता हूँ सिंगल का। अरे नहीं, ये यहाँ पे उड़ा दिया है, नीचे फील्डर मौजूद, क्या ये आउट हो सकते हैं? बहुत शानदार कैच और यहाँ पे मिलता है एक ब्रेक थ्रू सीसीपी को और एमआरएस के। चार्ली यहाँ पे 6 रन बनाकर हुए आउट। और जिसने आउट गैस डेस्पासीटो ने आउट गैस किया था, डेस्पासीटो शानदार, वीडियो को लाइक कर दीजिए और आप सभी लोगों का स्वागत है। चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए, बेल आइकन जरूर दबाइएगा क्योंकि हम आपके लिए कमेंट्री के साथ मैचेस लाते रहते हैं दोस्तों। उसी के साथ अगर आप ऑनलाइन आईडी लेना चाहते हो तो दोस्तों बिल्कुल एक ट्रस्टेड बंदा बताता हूँ आपको, ऊपर नंबर लिखा हुआ है, आप इस नंबर पे ज़रूर कांटेक्ट कीजिएगा, आपको आईडी मिलेगी और ये बंदा बिल्कुल ट्रस्टेड है, आपकी पेमेंट खा के भागेगा नहीं। चलिए दोस्तों, यहाँ पे पहला ब्रेक थ्रू मिलता है, 75 की स्ट्राइक पे आउट हुए हैं, स्ट्राइक रेट पे यहाँ पे फॉल ऑफ विकेट हुआ है। तो दोस्तों वीडियो को लाइक कर दीजिए और नेक्स्ट बॉल की गैस करते रहिए।
Brings the dreadlock. Craig Emmanuel, cousin to Sabina Simanuel.
So that created pressure there, and maybe that forced a fairly wild shot. Emmanuel got a very important role to play. He hits the ball very hard, and we want to bat very deep. It's Emmanuel in strike as he edges that down towards fine leg. That will in fact complete the second over. So Emmanuel will have to wait before he gets a sighter. And after what? After 2 overs, they are 14 for 1. So not scoring a great deal off the second over.
No, Reds, just 3 runs coming off the over, and most importantly, they have lost a wicket.
So good going. Good going for Giselle. As they send one report into bat. So Simon will start. 14 for 1. Emmanuel 6. 2 Emmanuels. The left-handed version. Left-handed version is strike that's outside the leg stump. The umpire has a good look and then decide that it did in fact transgress too wide. 15 for 1. So that swung around well. Over the head and away. It was a square leg and down to the boundary for 4. So 19 for 1. Welcome Clive Jules, who takes over for a short while from Greg Wilson.
A good shot there from Sabina Simanuel, the diminutive figure of Sabina Emmanuel. Small but packs a punch is Sabina's.
Sabina Simanuel is driving and an appeal for leg 4. He lunged towards the ball. It might have been turning maybe too much to beat the off stump, but it was certainly worth a shout.
Definitely worth a shout there from Alex Simon into Sabina's.
Sabinus turns it away, and Craig Emmanuel is out of the blocks very quickly, as if he's keen to get down there. You need to put bat and ball, at least one dot ball, and then you try and deal with the rest in a different way.
A tall man, Craig Emmanuel, kind of reminds me of Usain Bolt. Got down there in 3 or 4 strikes, and he was down at the other end.
He takes his guard, 20 for 1. We're in the middle of the third over. And it's going to be Simon. The ball to Craig Emmanuel. This delivery, look, whips it off the pad. Now they can look for a second. The ball is going slowly. Certainly missed an opportunity. And I think Craig Emmanuel should have called looking for 2. I don't believe that there was a touchdown and a look back at his partner. Missed an opportunity. 1 for 21. I don't know if you share my view, Clivis.
I do, Rez. With the pace the ball was traveling and the fielder having to come off the boundary, he should have gotten 2 there.
And this is turned straight to the fine leg. So, good going. 1 for 21. Has been an expensive over by any means. Ball turning in well bowled. He had to really get down and play forward, looking to admission into his middle stump and playing defensively. So the end of the over, and at the end of that over, it's 1 for 21. 1 for 21, we've had 3 overs completed.
A very good bowling from Alvina Simon on this occasion. And he kind of rushed Sabinas Emmanuel, and he was forced into a defensive shot. Otherwise, his middle stump or middle and off would have been under pressure there.
Well, Reggie Manager's got the massive power. I think Sabinas has got maybe more variety of shots. Left-hander. Maybe he can hook and pull square cut. But let's see how this partnership will roll out together. But they are related, aren't they?
First cousins Sabinas Emmanuel and Craig Emmanuel, hailing from the community of Magwe Tut in Monrepo.
That's a whole Emmanuel family, what, 4 or 5 Emmanuels?
Certainly Walter Emmanuel Jr. There's a lot of Emmanuels. Claudius Emmanuel.
Alexander Bolton, that's pull between mid-on and long-on. Long-on gets across very quickly. Good bit of work as Alexander was short. And of course, we must not forget our commentator who's doing important duty at the Ministry of Finance.
Yes, Claudius Emmanuel. You can't forget him at all.
Alexander in, Craig Emmanuel goes back. Miscues it somehow or the other, lost his footing a bit, lost his shape. We're trying to hit it too hard. Always is good to see Emmanuel with the back of the hand variety, bowling from the far end. Craig Emmanuel goes back, cuts it away, gets a signal. Only this is not what they want. They want to be scoring much faster than this. They've gone up to 24 for 1, but we are already in the middle of the 4th over. So,
Craig Emmanuel looking to play this one is through points and not finding the gap on this occasion. And of course, just being limited to 1. Audie Alexander keeping things very tight for the Strazel Colports.
Alexander balls, so it's outside the leg stump. That'll be called a wide. So they will inch up by 1, 25 for 1, 25 for 1. And Emmanuel, useful cricketer, quite good in the field also. And bat a bit, left arm orthodox, and just waiting to see if that was yes, no ball. Yeah.
No ball.
But interesting, he stuck the left arm as a no ball. Then eventually he signaled with the right hand to confirm it's a no ball. And now the signal has come with a free hit. How successful Craig Emmanuel will be off the free hit, 27 for 1. He's 4. And that's hit hard. It's going to land on the grass. Mount, yes. Which is normally in the shorter format, CCPL, heavily populated. There's no one out there. Some young man has to go to retrieve the ball. So it moves to 33 for 1, so he was a successful free hit.
Yes, certainly Audie Alexander committing the cardinal sin of transgressing that line. And Craig Emmanuel helping himself to the 139-6 of the tournament so far.
He is 12, gets into his wicket, but doesn't get it 5 or 6 meters away from the mid-wicket, back on the rope on each side. It goes straight to him, so just a single. So not capitalizing on the short ball there, Craig Emmanuel. It's 34 for 1. Sabina Seaman is in strike now and turns it away slowly out towards square leg. So the over is completed very, very quickly. And after 4 overs, there are 35 for 1, 35 for 1, and the rate 8.75 livers.
Not blazing the trail at all in this innings. They're keeping it steady, keeping the scoreboard moving. They're actually doing well to limit the number of dot balls, but they're not finding the boundaries or regularly enough to push the Monrepo Stars beyond just the 35 from 4 overs.
Alexander did concede 14 in that over. There's a conference between the two. And it's 35 for 1. And it's still going to be the spin of St. from the commentary box end. St. 1 over for 3 runs. That's hiked away. And the catch taken. So, big pickup. And did in fact pick out the man in deep mid wicket, and Alexander took it very nicely indeed. So he has picked up his first wicket.
St. Ange picking up his first, and Joselle Colport's picking up the second. On this occasion, Sabina Emmanuel dragging from outside of stump and hitting into the wind. Not a good option for him on this occasion, and finding Odi Alexander on the boundary.
He didn't have to move too far. So, George picking up a very important wicket. And now he's into his second over. And he's got 2
for 3.
Yeah.
Augustine.
So, Emmanuel now joined by Augustine. We're making heavy weather of this, as we're starting to climb towards the end of the 5th over. 4.1. I was 35 for 2.
35 for 2, and wickets are falling now. They've lost their second wicket. Valange St. Ange is in the middle of a very good spell. He's bowled 1.1, and he's taken 2 wickets for just 3 runs. So very tight stuff from Valange St. Ange.
The Dutch bowlers pull out towards the forward square leg. They think one mid-wicket is coming in, and he has to really get the bat across the line as he dives like a goalkeeper trying to push the ball around the post. And luckily, he is a tall man and managed somehow to get enough of the bat over the line. It's almost it's almost funny the way how it worked out. 36 for 2. Emmanuel 12, Augustine no score.
Kevin Augustine really looking for a non-existent second run on this occasion. The ball had been hit fairly hard into the outside field, and Kevin Augustine looking for a second run that was non-existent. Lost his footing and not been able to complete the second run at all.
He gets a short ball, tries to cut it away, but finds the third man in the way. So a dot ball, 2 for 36, 4.3 of his ball. And St. Ange goes once more. And that's banged off the back foot, but the wide man and extra cover will come across. Alexander is pretty fast. He's got a good arm. So just a single is 2 for 37. 2 for 37. As Emmanuel 12 look to try and put this away, and he gets it down to a short fine leg, makes no contact at all, or no ball signal. So let's see if the tall Craig Emmanuel with good shoulders will get full returns of the free hit. A free hit that will push them into the 40s. And hits that away out towards square cover. Emmanuel picks up on the run, falls, but recovers well. And only 2. Good bit of work by Alexander. Emmanuel going back and maybe looking to hit that a little squarer. When Alexander was quite fast. 40 for 2, good work by Alexander.
That's good work in the outfield there, indeed.
last ball of the over. And that's cut away by 6, backward point, and the third man goes over the rope. So an important boundary towards the end of the last over. So 5 overs gone, they're 2 for 44. Craig Emanuel has got the responsibility to see them on to score up towards 90. Augustine not trouble to score is too much. He's got 1.
दोस्तों 5 ओवर के बाद यहाँ पे स्कोर हो चुका है 44 रन और विकेट हैं 2। अब आपको क्या लगता है 10 ओवर में ये टीम कितना स्कोर कर पाएगी एमआरएस? आप कमेंट में ज़रूर बताएं। मुझे लगता है 100 प्लस हो जाएगा। अगर आपको लगता है 100 प्लस हो जाएगा तो कमेंट में बताएं। राकेश कह रहा है 100 प्लस हो जाएगा, अमित जी कह रहे हैं नहीं होगा। चलिए देखते क्या होता है। उसी के साथ दोस्तों अगर अभी तक वीडियो को लाइक नहीं किया है तो आपसे रिक्वेस्ट करता हूँ बस एक बार ये वीडियो को लाइक ज़रूर कर दीजिए और कमेंट में बताइए कि ये टीम कितना स्कोर कर पाएगी। 100 प्लस हो जाएगा या फिर 90-80 कितना करेगी, आप मुझे कमेंट में बता सकते हैं। और जिसने वीडियो को लाइक कर दिया वो एक बार कमेंट में लाइक लिख दें। महबूब जी कह रहे हैं उन्होंने लाइक कर दिया, वो कमेंट में लाइक लिख रहे हैं। सुनीता कह रही है मैंने लाइक कर दिया, सुनीता भी लाइक लिख रही है। थैंक यू आप सभी का। और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लो दोस्तों और आप मैच को एंजॉय कीजिए जरूर।
As cricket and Kevin Augustine, very experienced as well. So a lot relying on those two to push the Morning Stars as far as they possibly can. But a good platform nonetheless as Laffey comes in to bowl to Augustine, and Augustine is cutting this one out towards a backward point. He finds a Valange Setage. The good bit of fielding from him, good interception, and restricting them to just 1. The score moves on by 1 to 45. Augustine moves to 2. Craig Emanuel is on 18, and he's on strike now to Laffey. The youngster Sky Laffey moves in, bowls to Emmanuel, who gets a delivery very wide outside off, and the umpire signals a wide.
Yes, the extras continue. There's 7 in the over so far. We've seen a reduction in the number of wides of late, Clivers. This seems to be a good sign.
Which speaks to what we were discussing before, that it could have been attributed to being rusty, not playing, and this time inside out Craig Emanuel into the Johnson Charles stand. 6 runs. Craig Emanuel over extra cover. Laffey straying too much, getting too close to him, and Craig Emanuel inside out over extra cover. 52 for 2. 50 comes up for Manipur Stars.
Yes, Laffey on this occasion pitch up delivery, but really giving Craig Emanuel the room to really free his arms, and he was hitting this one inside out over the extra cover, and it went with the wind a long way, bouncing to the stand and made its way outside into the car park.
That's 140th 6 in the tournament so far, and we're really getting a good exhibition of the sixes in the tournament. We've had 140 of them, but the youngster Sky Laffey a little too close and giving Craig Emanuel a little bit too much whiff on this occasion. Craig Emanuel does not need a second invitation at all. 52 for 2, 5.2 overs, and now we're seeing the launching pad, the flurry of boundaries coming in now. Partnership of 17 from Emmanuel and Augustine. Emmanuel is on 24. Augustine is on 2. Laffey will move in again and bowls to Emmanuel over the wicket, and Emmanuel helping himself again, this time over backward point out towards the boundary. 4 more runs. Emmanuel is really getting into his own now.
Yes, he's really on the move. Some 24 of 28 of 12 deliveries. So he's really getting into his stride. The strike rate of 233.3. So the Monrepo Stars would really need Craig Emanuel to back deep into the inning, or perhaps bat the remaining overs, and they would certainly get a very competitive total.
If he stays there for the remaining overs, we could very well see Monrepo into the 100 club as well.
Yes, they certainly can get 100 or well beyond it, if these two could really play the sort of innings we saw from Cornelius Calendar and Xavier Gabriel.
And then Lafay comes around the wicket, changing the line of attack to Craig Emmanuel. And around the wicket into Emmanuel, outside of stump, Emmanuel can't make any contact as he launches forward and beaten into the glove of Jason Simon, who does not collect cleanly. The score remains on 56 for 2. 56 for 2 inside of the sixth over, being bowled by a young Sky Lafay. He's opted to go around the wicket now, and he's coming in again into Emmanuel. And this time, Emmanuel again inside out towards long on, hit with some power down there. One bounce into the fielder, and Craig Emmanuel comes through for one more run. Junior Henry just doing a good bit of fielding out on the long on boundary, limiting him to just 157 for 2. Craig Emmanuel has moved to 29.
Yes, 29 of just 14 deliveries. So good striking there by Craig Emmanuel.
Lafay into Augustine and gives him a full one. Augustine is clubbing it, not timing it well at all, out towards the mid-on area, and the fielder comes off the boundary and does the fielding. Augustine comes through for a single 1 run. He moves to 3. The score moves on by 1 to 58. And we've had the completion of the over from Lafay, 58 for 2. Emmanuel is on 29 from 14. Kevin Augustine is on 3 from 4. The partnership is worth 23. Monrepo Stars are looking to get a move on, Greg.
Yes, current run rate 9.67, closer to 10. So if they could continue at that rate, they certainly will get well over the 90 runs, which would make it competitive. But we are realizing towards the back end of the tournament now, teams are scoring hundreds with regularity now.
Which speaks well for the competition. And we're getting a flurry of boundaries as well. Simon into Augustine and out towards long on. Junior Henry comes off the boundary. The field just outside of the 30-yard circle. And 1 run to the total. Augustine moves on by 1. The score moves on by 1 to 59. Simon now into Emmanuel, who's batting on 29. Emmanuel is playing the scoop out towards the boundary, beating Jason Simon. That one was heading down the leg side as well, and Craig Emmanuel helping himself to 4. Wide, and he did not make contact on this occasion. I really thought he attempted the scoop. I really thought he had gotten some bat on there.
Yes, the Simon just been guilty of bowling this one down the leg side and adding to the scoring.
This time he's outside of stump, and Craig Emmanuel ends up on his knees trying to play this one through the offside and not making any contact. The score remains on 64 for 2. Craig Emmanuel remains on 29. This time he makes contact. It's high in the air. The keeper caught for it and he takes it. Jason Simon comfortably. Craig Emmanuel departs on 29 from 15 deliveries, 64 for free. Monrepo Stars slipping into some trouble now.
Yes, Craig Emmanuel really did not have the sort of room to freeze and really looking to play a forcing shot into the wide mid-wicket area. Only successful in getting a top edge. And Jason Simon calling for it very early with the gloves and just went a few wickets away and took a very comfortable catch. So the loss of Craig Emmanuel, 29 from 15 deliveries. Big body blow there to the Monrepo Stars. They would have wanted him to have continued perhaps for a bit longer.
Yeah, Craig Emmanuel goes, caught Simon, caught Jason Simon, bowl Alvina Simon for a 29. Craig Emmanuel getting 29 of 16 deliveries with 2 4s and 2 6s. And Descat, it's a Shadrach Descat who joins Kevin Augustine. And He'll be at the non-strikers end. This one loud appeal for LBW, and it's given him Simon full on this occasion. Augustine looking for a big heap over mid-wicket, missing the delivery and being a judge LBW.
Yes, another big blow there, struck there by Simon. One just tossed and hitting Kevin Poole on the leg stump. This one sort of dipped on him, and good delivery there by Simon, getting 2 in 2. So the Monrepo Stars are certainly losing the sort of momentum that they had early on.
Losing away, falling away is the Monrepo Stars, and Simon in the middle of a big over there, 1.4 overs so far, 2 wickets and 13 runs coming off his bowling. And now the Monrepo Stars have slipped to 64 for 4. 64 for 4. And both batsmen getting out. Now we have Hazel Shalry. And Hazel Shalry, the hero for Monrepo Stars in the first game, joining
Shadrach
Descat. And they are not, the partnership is still worth naught. The present run rate is 9.60 per over. And they have a good launching pad, the Monrepo Stars. So let's see what Hazel Shalry can do. Simon bowls to Shalry, and Shalry picks him out towards the backward square. The fielder comes around from the deep square leg boundary, and not before they come through for 2 runs. So Hazel Shalry is motoring along right away. He's off the mark with 2. The score moves on to 66 for 4.
Yes, Simon was on a hat-trick and we did not even indicate that. But good soup that's been picked up there by Hazel Shalry, running aggressive in between the wicket there with Shadrach Descat.
We know Hazel Shalry can hit a long ball. He showed that in the last match, which will be the first game that Monrepo played in the tournament. Hazel Shalry picks him up. This one is high, and Junior Henry is coming in. He's run a bit, and he spills it. He had to cover some 20 yards, and he spills this one. He got there. They just chance of a run out, firing it in and missing. And Shadrach is looking for the... Oh, my goodness. It's a comedy of errors in the field from the Swazel Colports, and they run 4 runs. Wow. A comedy of errors. First, Junior Henry coming in, putting down the catch. The fielder comes around from the mid-wicket and throws it in. They just missing, and then, of course, they complete 4 runs. So the score moves on to 70 for 4. The Hazel Shalry moves on to 6. Descat is yet to get off the mark. He's not faced the ball yet. So 70 for 4 from Monrepo. Good over for the Stars, having lost 2 wickets in that over.
Yes, they lost 2 wickets, but still got some 12 runs in the over. They would need to continue to pick up the pace with 70 on the board and some 3 overs remaining. 10 and over could get them to 100 runs quite comfortably.
And they would look to get a little more than 10 and over with Hazel and Descat if they can stay on. And with the sort of aggression they've shown there between the wickets, they batting at 10, they should be able to get to that 100. It's a St. Rose to continue to Descat, and Descat is inside out towards long on. Junior Henry is there, and 1 run, just one bounce to Junior Henry, and the score moves on by 1 to 71. Descat is off the mark right now.
Yes, Descat and Hazel Shalry would certainly need to push along.
इसी के साथ दोस्तों 7 ओवर की समाप्ति के बाद 8 ओवर की 1 बॉल हुई है, स्कोर हो चुका है 71 रन। तो दोस्तों यहाँ से आप क्या टारगेट देख रहे हैं कि कितना बना सकेगी यहाँ पे एमआरएस, कमेंट में ज़रूर बताइए। आपके कमेंट पढ़ पा रहा हूँ। 8 ओवर की दूसरी बॉल, बल्ला घुमाया है, बॉल जा रही है फील्डर के पास, फील्डर पीछे मौजूद है और यहाँ पे एक सिंगल रन बड़े आसानी से चुरा लिया। इसी के साथ 8वें ओवर की दूसरी बॉल के बाद स्कोर हो चुका है 72 पर 4 आउट। स्ट्राइक पे है डेस्केरेट्स, चार्ली खेल रहे हैं 7 पे नाबाद। इस ओवर में आ चुके हैं 2 रन और एसटी रोज़ के स्पेल का चल रहा है ये दूसरा ओवर। तो दोस्तों उम्मीद है ये बहुत मज़ेदार मैच आगे भी होने वाला है। तो दोस्तों बता दीजिए अपनी प्रेडिक्शन, कौन सी टीम जीतने वाली है और 8वें ओवर की तीसरी बॉल पे क्या स्कोर आने वाला है। और दोस्तों अगर अभी तक वीडियो को लाइक नहीं किया है तो लाइक कर लीजिए। यहाँ पे बहुत से लोग लाइक नहीं करें, और सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए भाई, आपको ईमानदारी की कसम है, प्लीज़ सब्सक्राइब कर लो। कल फिर लाइव दिखाएंगे। शानदार बैट घुमाया, फुल टॉस बनाया बॉल को यॉर्कर को, और सिंगल निकाल चुके हैं यहाँ पे। इन सिंगल से अब कुछ नहीं बनने वाला भाई, टीम अपने आखिरी ओवरों में पहुंच चुकी है। तो यहाँ पे कुछ बड़े शॉट देखने को मिलने चाहिए, अगर नहीं मिलते हैं तो बहुत गलत बात है। पार्टनरशिप हो चुकी है 9 रन की 5 बॉलों में, और दोस्तों उसी के साथ स्कोर हो चुका है 73 पर 4।
3 singles given up in the over so far. Shalry will have other ideas. He steps into it, and this time he goes inside out. It peels off the thickish outside edge out towards the whitish Ferdman boundary, and it goes over the boundary now. 4 runs to Hazel Shalry. He's moved to 11. The score has moved on to 77.
Yes, and Rod on this occasion just a bit too wide, giving Shalry enough room to really free his arms, going hard but getting the outer portion of the bat, and as you indicate, threw over wide Woodman for 4 valuable runs for them.
Venus Simon patrolling that area, not very mobile easy, and this time flicks, and there's a chance of a run out, and he misses the stump. Now they come through for that single. Shadrach Descat run almost 2 runs on this occasion. He came down, he was sent back. The run out was on, missed the stump. Clemson throws, and he comes through for the single eventually.
Yes, Clemson throws missing out an easy run out opportunity. Perhaps you were just a little too anxious to throw down the stumps and didn't gather his composure sufficiently, but nevertheless, all well ends well for the Monrepo Stars. 1 additional run.
78 for 4. Hazel is on 12. Shadrach Descat is on strike, and this time it's down the leg side, and a good take from Jason Simon diving away to his right. Good take there by the keeper, and the umpire signals why the score moves on by this 1 extra. Extras move now to 13. The score is 79 for 4. And Clemson throws kind of spoiling his figures by his own self as the Centrals comes into Descat, and Descat is giving him the charge at this one, out on the outside edge, and the ball runs through to the Ferdman boundary. The fielder is just taking a nice roll down there to pick it up. 4 more to the total. 83 for 4. Descat has moved to 6. Shalry is on 12. Extras 13. And the Monrepo Stars charging towards the 100 mark.
Yes, they are well on course to get to 100. The last 3 overs have been very productive. Some 49 runs coming off the line.
चलिए दोस्तों यहाँ पे स्कोर हो चुके हैं 8 ओवर के बाद 83 रन, 83 रन, और आप देख सकते हैं 4 ही यहाँ पे आउट हुए हैं। और आप आगे क्या लगता है कि आगे 10 ओवर में क्या स्कोर होगा, क्या ये 100 प्लस हो पाएगा, मुझे कमेंट में ज़रूर बताएं। उसी के साथ दोस्तों हम आखिरी के 2 ओवर में एक गेम खेलते हैं। आपको हर बॉल पे गैस करना है कि क्या स्कोर आएगा। जैसे 8.1 पे 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 या फिर 6 या फिर आउट क्या आएगा वो आप कमेंट में बताइए। आप लिखिए 8.1 स्पेस जो स्कोर आपको लगता है वो बताइए। देखते हैं आप में से कितने लोगों की प्रेडिक्शन बिल्कुल सही जाती है। जिसकी प्रेडिक्शन सही जाए वो वीडियो को लाइक करके चैनल सब्सक्राइब करके मुझे कमेंट में बताएं। 8.1 की प्रेडिक्शन मैं देख पा रहा हूँ जितने लोग बता रहे हैं। बहुत से मेरे दोस्तों ने यहाँ पे 6 बताया था और ये बिल्कुल 6 गया है। जिन्होंने प्रेडिक्शन 6 बताया था वो वीडियो को कर दीजिए लाइक, और दोस्तों चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए, क्योंकि हम इसी तरह आपके लिए लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग लाते रहेंगे। क्योंकि हमारा नाम है जावेद योगी और आपसे हमारी मुलाकात फिर से होगी। तो दोस्तों इसी तरह वीडियो को लाइक करते जाएं। और आप 8.2 पे गैस कीजिए क्या स्कोर आएगा। 8.2 पे आपने गैस कर दिया है। जिसने गैस किया था यहाँ पे 0, उन्होंने बिल्कुल सही गैस किया था। अब आप 8.3 का गैस कीजिए भाई। 8.2 वाइड थी, दोबारा होगी ये बॉल। अब 8.2 पे आपको दोबारा गैस करना है, आपको जल्दी से बताना है। 10 ओवर के बाद क्या स्कोर होगा वो भी बताइए। MRS और CCP में से कौन सी टीम जीतेगी वो भी ज़रूर बताइए। 8.2 पे जिन्होंने 4 बताया था उन्होंने बिल्कुल सही बताया था। 4 रन यहाँ पे लग चुके हैं। अब आप गैस कीजिए 8.3 का। 8.2 पे जिनका 4 था वो जल्दी से वीडियो को लाइक कर दीजिए। वीडियो को लाइक कर दीजिए। चलिए दोस्तों, यहाँ पे 1900 लाइक हुए हैं, क्यों ना दोस्तों 2000 लाइक हो जाए। जल्दी से वीडियो को लाइक करके एक साथ लाइक बटन दबा के लाइक्स 2000 कर दो यार। आप सभी लोगों का तहे दिल से शुक्रगुजार रहूँगा दोस्तों। मैं 1 2 3 लाइक बोलूँगा और आपको लाइक और सब्सक्राइब बटन एक साथ दबाने, लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब, ठीक है भाई। 1 2 3 लाइक एंड सब्सक्राइब दबा दो एक साथ। देखते हैं आपकी पावर कितनी है, आप कितने एक साथ होके हमारे सब्सक्राइबर और लाइक बढ़ा सकते हो। 8.3 पे आउट बताया था, वाइड बॉल हो गई है। देखते हैं 8.3 पे क्या आता है। 10 ओवर में 154 बता रहे हैं सागर जी। देखते हैं सागर जी क्या स्कोर रहता है यहाँ पे, वो तो देखने वाली चीज़ होगी भाई। नाइस वाइड भाई, वाइड नाइस नहीं होती है। 8.4 पे यहाँ पे जिनकी प्रेडिक्शन थी 1 रन की, उन्होंने बिल्कुल सही प्रेडिक्ट किया था। अब 8.4 पे आप प्रेडिक्ट कीजिए क्या स्कोर आने वाला है। 8.4 पे क्या स्कोर आने वाला है। यहाँ पे कुछ लोग बता रहे हैं चेजिंग टीम जीतेगी, CCP जीतेगी, कुछ लोग बता रहे हैं, कुछ लोग कह रहे हैं MRS जीतेगी। कमेंट में ज़रूर बताएं। उसी के साथ दोस्तों, मैं राजस्थान इंडिया से ये मैच लाइव कर रहा हूँ। आप ये मैच कहाँ से लाइव देख रहे हैं कमेंट में ज़रूर बताएं। मुकाबला बहुत रोमांचक हो चुका है। आखिरी की मात्र 9 बॉलें बची है, जहां पे स्कोर ये 120 प्लस हो सकता है। अगर आपको लगता है हो सकता है तो वीडियो को लाइक करके, चैनल सब्सक्राइब करके बताते जाएं। वीडियो लाइक करने को इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ क्योंकि दोस्तों आगे हम फिर जब भी लाइव करेंगे आप सबसे पहले हमारे चैनल पे पहुँच पाएंगे। 8वें ओवर की चौथी बॉल, बल्ला घुमाया लेकिन हल्के हाथों से खेल के सिंगल निकालना चाहते थे और यहाँ पे एक आसान सा सिंगल रन निकाल लिया है। तो दोस्तों स्कोर हो चुका है 98 पे 4 आउट। और आपका प्रेडिक्शन बिल्कुल सही था। जलालाबाद गंगानगर से, भाई मैं राजस्थान गंगानगर से ही हूँ और यहाँ पे मेरे बहुत से दोस्तों ने अच्छे कमेंट किए। और दोस्तों आपको मेरी आवाज़ कैसी लगी कमेंट में ज़रूर बताएं मुझे, और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब ज़रूर कर लें, बेल आइकन ज़रूर दबा दें। तो दोस्तों यहाँ पे 5700 लोग देख रहे हैं लेकिन लाइक सिर्फ 2000 है। तो दोस्तों आप सभी लोगों से दिल से रिक्वेस्ट है, प्लीज़ एक बार लाइक वाले बटन को ठोक दो भाई, अपनी ईमानदारी से लाइक कर दो। लाइक 2200 कर दो आप एक साथ। और ये यहाँ पे लास्ट बॉल 9वें ओवर की सिंगल रन निकाल लिया गया। दूसरे रन के लिए भाग रहा है, क्या दूसरा रन पूरा कर पाएंगे? जी हाँ, बड़ी आसानी से दूसरा रन पूरा किया और स्कोर हो चुका है यहाँ पे 101 पर 4 आउट और 9 ओवर के बाद। अब दोस्तों गैस कीजिए कि आखिरी के ओवर में कितने रन आने वाले हैं। देखते किसकी गैस बिल्कुल सही पड़ती है, यानी या फिर आप बता सकते हो कि क्या स्कोर मिलने वाला है। यहाँ पे फिक्स्ड गेम अबू रेहान कह रहे हैं। भाई देखते हैं क्या हो रहा है। यहाँ पे कुछ लोग कह रहे हैं आवाज़ बहुत अच्छी लगी तेरी, थैंक यू सो मच भाई। जिनको बुरी लगी है माफ़ी चाहता हूँ यार, रब ने ऐसी आवाज़ दी है, क्या कर सकते हैं। और MRS विल विन यहाँ पे प्रेडिक्शन लगाई जा रही है मेरे कुछ दोस्तों के द्वारा, तो ज़रूर आपकी प्रेडिक्शन सही होगी। दोस्तों वीडियो को लाइक और चैनल सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए, आपके लिए कमेंट्री और लाइव मैच इसी तरह आता रहेगा।
Is the 100 and they have 1 over to go. 6 balls left and they've passed the 100 already. So they too joined the 100 club. And Hazel Shalry is playing a good hand. He's on 24 from 9. He's continuing from where he left off in the last match. And good for the Monrepo Stars.
Yes, continue. Over 11.
And this time out towards mid-wicket and falling short of the fielder there, Centruz coming off the boundary. And they move on by just a solitary run to 102. 102 for 4. The partnership is worth 38. Shalry is on 25. Descartes is on 9 from 5 balls. Shalry is on 25 from 10 balls. And Alexander is bowling the final over of the match. He bowls to Descartes. Descartes step outside off, not timing it well. This one is just bubbling towards a short fine leg. And they come through for 1. The score moves to 103. Descartes moves into double figures. He's on 10 from 6. But more importantly, he brings Hazel Shalry back on strike. Shalry faces up to Alexander, and Alexander gives him a full delivery and is heading down towards the leg side, but he was giving himself some room and he got hit about the body. They come through for 1 leg by 104 for 4 10 to Descartes, who's on strike now, to Alexander, and he drags this one from way outside of some out towards square leg. They come through for one. The second one is on, but Descartes is home in a flash. Good running by Shadrach Descartes.
Yes, good running there by Descartes, but really sloppy fielding there by the man at the...
दोस्तों ये फर्स्ट इनिंग ख़त्म होने के बाद मैं आपसे एक क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा, बहुत ट्रिकी क्वेश्चन है, क्या आप उसका जवाब दे पाएंगे? जो लोग ये क्वेश्चन सुनना चाहते हैं वो कमेंट में यस लिख दीजिए। आपको क्वेश्चन पूछूंगा, आखिरी ओवर की 5वीं बॉल, बल्ला घुमाया, बॉल जा रही है बाउंड्री लाइन की तरफ, शानदार शॉट, पीछे फील्डर मौजूद लेकिन वो कुछ नहीं कर सकते, सिर्फ दर्शक बन के रह गए, बॉल जा रही है सीधी दर्शक गाह में। 6 रन यहाँ से डेस्केरेट्स के बल्ले से निकलते हुए, इसी के साथ डेस्केरेट पहुंच गया 18 रन पर और स्कोर हो चुका है 112 पे 4 आउट। आखिरी बॉल पे दोस्तों क्या स्कोर आएगा? 0, 1, 2, 4, 6 या फिर आउट? जल्दी से अपनी प्रेडिक्शन लगा दीजिए आखिरी की बॉल पे। और इसी के साथ दोस्तों वीडियो को अगर लाइक नहीं किया है तो लाइक ज़रूर कीजिए। और आपके लिए जो क्वेश्चन है वो क्वेश्चन तैयार है, आपको वो क्वेश्चन बताना है। देखते हैं आप में से कितने लोग दिमाग वाले हैं जो ये क्वेश्चन का सही आंसर दे पाएंगे। ये फिर बॉल हवा में जा रही है और क्या ये 6 रन हो सकते हैं? जी हाँ, एक बार फिर से 6 रन, बहुत शानदार बॉल को घुमाया है, बल्ला घुमाया है। और दोस्तों इसी के साथ मैं आप लोगों से एक बात बताना चाहता हूँ दोस्तों, आज तक कभी किसी ने हमें सुपर चैट नहीं किया, अब हमें सुपर चैट भी कर सकते हैं अगर आप हेल्प करना चाहें तो। 118 पे यहाँ पे स्कोर, टीम विनिंग एक होती है ख़त्म। और उसी के साथ दोस्तों आपके लिए जो क्वेश्चन था वो क्वेश्चन ये है कि एक बार एक होटल का रूम था, ठीक है, क्वेश्चन को थोड़ा ध्यान से सुनना। एक बार एक होटल का रूम था, देखते हैं आप में से कितने लोग इसका सही आंसर दे पाते हैं। पहले वीडियो को लाइक करके चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए क्योंकि दूसरी इनिंग भी आपको हमारे चैनल पे देखने के लिए मिल जाएगी। तो दोस्तों क्वेश्चन कुछ ऐसे है कि एक होटल के रूम में एक बार कुछ बाराती गए, जब बाराती होटल के अंदर एंटर हुए तो वहाँ रूम के अंदर कुछ बेड थे और कुछ बाराती थे, ठीक है। अब आपको गैस करना है कि कितने बाराती थे और कितने बेड थे। तो मैं आपको एक सिंपल सा उसका एक बताता हूँ हिंट कि बाराती जब एक एक करके सो रहे थे तब तो एक बेड बच रहा था, और जब बाराती 2-2 करके सो रहे थे, सॉरी, जब एक एक करके सो रहे थे तब तो एक बाराती बच रहा था, और जब 2-2 करके सो रहे थे तब एक बेड बच रहा था। तो आप लोगों को गैस करना है कि इसका सही आंसर क्या होगा, कितने बाराती थे और कितने बेड थे। मैं क्वेश्चन फिर से रिपीट करता हूँ, रूम के अंदर कुछ बेड थे और कुछ बाराती थे। जब बाराती 2-2 करके सो रहे थे तो एक बेड बच रहा था, और जब बाराती एक एक करके सो रहे थे तो एक बाराती बच रहा था। तो दोस्तों गैस कीजिए कितने बाराती और कितने बेड थे। भाई तुक्के मत मारो, बिल्कुल सही आंसर बताने की कोशिश करो। और कमेंट में ये भी बताओ कि टीम कौन सी जीतेगी, क्या 118 119 डिफेंड हो जाएगा? जिसको मिले 2 बेड 3 बाराती, नहीं, थोड़ा सा मिस हो गए आप। जी हाँ, 4 और 3 बिल्कुल सही बताया यहाँ पे कुमार दीपक ने सबसे पहले। कुमार जी वीडियो को लाइक कर दीजिए, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए। जी हाँ, 3 बेड और 4 बाराती थे। जब एक एक करके बाराती सो रहे थे तब तो एक बाराती बच रहा था, और जब 2-2 करके बाराती सो रहे थे तब एक बेड बच रहा था। 3 बेड और 4 बाराती। जिनका ये आंसर बिल्कुल सही था वो कमेंट में यस लिखें और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लें, बेल आइकन दबा दें। नेक्स्ट इनिंग आपको ज़रूर हमारे इस चैनल पे देखने के लिए मिल जाएगी। दोस्तों उम्मीद है आप एंजॉय कर रहे हैं हमारे इस बहुत ज्ञान बांटा, शुक्रिया भाई, ऐसे ज्ञान बांटता रहता हूँ मैं। 2 बात विन होगा भाई, सेकंड बैट विनिंग बताया जा रहा है यहाँ पे। देखते हैं भाई किसकी प्रेडिक्शन बिल्कुल सही जाती है, देखा जाएगा ये सेकंड बैट विनिंग होती है या नहीं। और दोस्तों उम्मीद है आपने चैनल सब्सक्राइब कर लिया होगा, बेल आइकन दबा दीजिए। दोस्तों अगर आपको ऑनलाइन आईडी लेनी है बिल्कुल ट्रस्टेड बंदे से तो ऊपर एक नंबर लिखा हुआ है, आप उस 7770140000 पे आप कांटेक्ट कर सकते हैं। दोस्तों बिल्कुल आपको ट्रस्टेड आईडी मिलेगी, डेमो अकाउंट मिलेगा, और दोस्तों बिल्कुल ट्रस्टेड बंदे आपको पैसा भी मिलेगा, ठीक है भाई। एक चीज़ और बता देना चाहता हूँ, वहाँ पे आप जैसे कॉल करोगे एक लड़की से आपकी बात होगी, लड़की की आवाज़ सुन के आप मंत्रमुग्ध हो जाओगे। तो आप सिर्फ लड़की से बात करने के लिए भी कॉल करके ट्राई कर सकते हो। 4 बाराती और 3 बेड ब्लैक स्टेटस बिल्कुल सही बताया आपने। कितना टाइम लगेगा शुरू होने में? मात्र 5 मिनट में शुरू हो जाएगा भाई, कहीं मत जाओ, यहीं पे बने रहो, आपको बिल्कुल पूरा मैच देखने को मिलेगा।
to join Sabinus Emmanuel. Sabinus Emmanuel sweeping well on this occasion for another boundary. Craig Emmanuel joins the party. That was a free hit delivery, and he hit it well into the mound for 6 lovely runs. The balance setters came, and Sabinus Emmanuel holding out to Alexander out towards mid-wicket. Balance setters this occasion a bit too short outside of stump. Craig Emmanuel dissecting the fielders to perfection and claiming 4 runs as a consequence. Craig Emmanuel inside out for 6. Good clean hitting from Craig Emmanuel. Sky Laffey taking a bit of a tapping from Emmanuel. This one coming off a thickish outside edge out towards the backward point boundary. Alvina Simon. This one a judge wide straight down the leg side and wide given. 5 wides adding to the score. 64 for 2. Craig Emmanuel top edge in 1. Jason Simon claiming that one very early and catching it brilliantly as well. 64 for 3. Augustine next delivery hitting on the back leg right in front of the stump, pretty adjacent and given out. Hazel Chalry came in and changed everything. He joined Descartes Jr. Henry, putting him down, and a comedy of errors there. Chalry took Clemson Rose to the boundary on many occasions, this time out to the backward point for 4. Descartes joining the party. That one coming up the edge down towards Footman. Not a good effort there from the fielder. 4 runs. And the Chalry continuing picks up Vince Smith over the head of Junior Henry. 6. Again, Smith inside edge pass, short fine leg down to the boundary. 4 more. Alexander into Descartes. Descartes just giving him the charge and clipping him off the pads out towards the mid-wicket. 6. The next one was even better, chipping and hitting over the long one for another 6. They finish on 118 for 4. And the Monrico Stars, Greg, very, very well placed at the moment. That 118 represents the third highest score in the third highest total in the tournament.
Yes, third highest total. We saw Grosley early on registered 141. Now the Monrico Stars at 118. So certainly the hundreds have been scored, as I did indicate now, very regularly now by the teams really getting into their stride. So that would make very interesting for the business end of the tournament, really the knockout stage.
We're playing on a different strip today. Would that have anything to do with us seeing 200 totals being set today? And even in the chase, in the previous game, Babano giving a good chase of that 100, not getting close, but good enough chase.
Yes, today the bat seems to be dominating ball. The strip the guys played on yesterday, we did play a North versus South veteran game, and I could tell you that there was quite a bit of bounce on that strip in particular yesterday.
This one a little bit more even there. The bounce is there, but not as much carry as the strip they played on yesterday. But good bounce, good true bounce, and the batsman able to hit through the line very nicely as well. But not taking anything away from the batting team today and the batsmen today. They've played a good hand today.
Yes, we've seen some good stroke play today. It's certainly, as we did indicate, the strip seems to be more conducive for batting today. So I'm hoping to see a good chase by these social culprits.
We've seen some of the stats that we have, some of the stats being taken down today. The highest score changed hands, the highest total by a team changing hands today. That was 120. We've also seen the highest individual score changing hands, and with Kimani Melius taking over at the top from Johnson Charles. But it's over for him for now. and because Grizzly would have played their 4 games and they're sitting to wait. But of course, Johnson Charles still has the opportunity. But all in all, Bat has dominated ball today.
Yes, I think that is what persons would really want to see in a T10 competition, Bat dominating ball, and we have not been short of excitement today. Certainly, Kimberly Values did provide a fair bit of fireworks early on in the morning game. Bavano had a reasonable fight back, but as we did indicate, perhaps not the sort of start that they would have wanted. And in this game, the Bonrepo Stars, slow starts, some 45-44 at the halfway stage. We did indicate they had the launching pad, and that they certainly did. The last 4, some 74 runs they scored. So all in all, a good
और
first
दोस्तों
half for
मैच
the
का हो गया
Bonrepo.
है फिर से आगाज, दूसरी इनिंग का हुआ है आगाज, क्रीज पर पहुंच रहे हैं बल्लेबाज। तो क्या यहाँ पे ये अपनी टीम को जिता के निकाल पाएंगे, वो होगी एक देखने वाली चीज़। आप हमारे साथ जुड़े रहिए, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए, वीडियो को लाइक कर दीजिए। कंप्लीट मैच आपको लाइव दिखाया जाएगा हमारे चैनल पे। एमआरसी वर्सेस सीसीपी। एमआरसी ने टारगेट दिया है 119 रन का। क्या सीसीपी डिफेंड कर पाएगी? आपके अकॉर्डिंग कौन सी टीम जीतेगी? कमेंट में ज़रूर बताइएगा। मैच अभी जल्दी शुरू होने वाला है, पहला ओवर, और यहाँ पे बॉलर पहुँच चुके हैं। दोनों बैट्समैन क्रीज पर मौजूद हैं, और जिसने वीडियो को लाइक नहीं किया है उसको कसम है भाई काली माता की, वीडियो को लाइक कर दीजिए और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर दीजिए।
In the sense that they were not playing cricket for a number of months, and even if you may have a week or 2 of training, that would not have been sufficient. Training and the actually match day is something totally different, Reds.
Yes. And just before we see the start of this innings, my question to you, Chuzal Korpots, without their captain Bonty Bess, how much did they miss him? He's suffering from an injury, of course.
Yes, from what we saw in the last game, he gave chase to a ball wide, long off, and we saw him just pulling up gingerly over the ropes.
So just cut. Well, it had to be a practice ball because the batsman was nowhere ready as you raced in. But he must be trying to get fit, because I think basically he is key. He is key to the Shozal Court Board.
Yes, especially in the captaincy and the bowling department, especially the last game, we saw he had a very economical spell. In terms of the Yorker, I think he's one of the bowlers who could bowl it with some sort of regularity.
Yes, chasing a ball and pulled up just far away from the commentary position. So the Scott to move into Henry. Henry had a lifting delivery. And you had to get it on his toes, and to get a bit of batter onto it, and down towards third man. Certainly seemed to have the potential to bowl quite quick.
Yes, the Scott could hook up a fair bit of pace. Everybody strong enough shoulders.
So Alexander will be strike the left-hander, using him high in the order. The Scott is moving in now. That's pulled away nice. And 6. Putting into the wind and clearing the rope. Did he previously open before in the earlier matches?
Yes, he did. We have used them this year as an opener. He has a good enough technique to open, and he can seriously pack a serious punch, as we saw in the last delivery there. 144.6 within the tournament so far, right? So we're getting close to the 150.
Yes, off the mark with a big 6. That's a big slash outside the off stump. So back of a length and hoping to capitalize on it. A top edge would have probably bring him the maximum high over the third man area. So 7 without loss. Henry is 1. Scott halfway there. And wide signal. Pitch wide and going further wide. People virtually have to take that on the run.
Yes, Rezo, just looking at some stats there. Descott had the incredible figures of 6 wickets for 8 runs against Central Castries in a game last year.
So he's a solid member of the Monrepo team. He comes into Alexander turns it away, offers single to Henry, who responds well. Nice, neat bit of footwork. Getting into his wicket there. You get the impression that someone like Alexander was well coached. His fundamentals are very good.
Yes, it shows good technique. Both to the, and he can play on both sides of the wicket.
Yes, he's got 7 off 3. Henry is 1 off 1, and Descant is halfway there. That swung away well, almost helping it. Pitch outside leg stump, and Henry swinging at the delivery, knowing that if he gets the ball to bat to it, going to bring runs. It does bring runs, and he moves now to 5, and the total goes up to 13 without loss. 13 without loss. This is the first over. They need 119, so a pretty comfortable total by Monrepo. With the Scott 24 off 9 and Shalry 24 off 11. An important partnership. Wide delivery. Taken by the keeper. I didn't record that partnership. Can you recall how many they added? 54. 54. Very useful indeed. Because before that, only Craig Emmanuel, with 29 off 16 balls, had really put his hands up. The Scott runs away, and that's hit firmly over long on for 6. Ball pitched up into the leg stump. And Henry getting into the scoring act. Now moves his total up to 20 without loss. With that 6 boundary, Descott has finished what was a fairly expensive over, 14 coming off it. Well, every day is fishing day, but every day is not catching day. And that applies to batsman bowlers. Having good days and bad days. Descott has not started all that well.
Yes, the terrible start there by Descott. 20 runs in the over, certainly not what you would have wanted. But the full pots, certainly Reds are firing up. And
Yes.
the 20 without loss, the Monrepo Stars, they had just gotten 11. So they have won 9 better than the Monrepo Stars in the first over.
Yeah. So 20, good start towards getting 119. And, let's see. So here's the Shalry to pick up the attack from the Kaimanji end, players pavilion end, call it what you may. The David Hook and the late. That's cut away. It runs here. It doesn't beat the third man. He commits himself as he falls away to his right. Alexander's given away the strike, but he can rely on his partner to keep hitting the ball. He goes to 8. Henry's 11, and it's none for 21 in over number 2. Henry just coming, Alexander just coming to have a word with his partner at long range. There's a slip for the spinner. And he bowls leg break, pitch high over the head of the long on, pitched up and really hoisted, confidently, no miscue about that. Henry, no nonsense, pushes the score up to 25 on the board. 25 on the board. And good start here to attack the Manapo total, turned away down towards a short square leg position. 28 on the board. They're only into the second over, 3 deliveries. Alexander with a solitary slip comes forward. An appeal, he gets well forward. Might have just come outside the line of the off stump. The bowler decided, well, it's worth a shout, Shallery. No sweeper. 3 in the off. And that's hulked away out towards mid wicket. Ball almost changing course as it drops. Spin away sometimes. So Alexander getting the single. It brings Henry into action. Henry the fast of the two, 18 from 5. Alexander 9 from 6. And it's 1 for 29. It's none for 29. And that's a dot ball. Henry attempted to cut at that towards point. Made no contact. So 2 overs completed. 27 without loss. They are going at, I would say, the right rate.
Yes, that's better over there by Shallery. Things back a bit. Only considered 9, considered 20 came off the first over.
दोस्तों आप जितने भी लोग वीडियो देख रहे हो एक बार वीडियो को लाइक ज़रूर कर दीजिए, चैनल सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए। कल फिर हम लाइव करेंगे इतनी मज़ेदार और शानदार तरीके से। लेकिन आप मुझे कमेंट में ये बताइए कि कौन सी टीम जीतेगी, कौन सी टीम जीतेगी। देखते हैं किसकी प्रेडिक्शन बिल्कुल सही जाती है, जल्दी से कमेंट में बताइए। और दोस्तों आप हमें सुपर चैट कर सकते हो, आप हमें हेल्प कर सकते हो, आप हमें गूगल पे, फ़ोनपे, ये जो नंबर दे रखा है इस पर पैसे भी भेज सकते हो। तो दोस्तों आप मर्जी है उतना मदद कर सकते हो हमारी। और मैच चल रहा है बहुत शानदार तरीके से। वीडियो को लाइक कर दीजिए, चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कर लीजिए। चैनल सब्सक्राइब कर लेना, लाइक कर लेना भाई, बहुत ज़रूरी है। और कौन सी टीम जीतेगी कमेंट में ज़रूर बताना।
And goes into the shot and cuts it in. And Pandya was outside the off stump. Still 29. We've had 2.1 overs bowled. He did 119. Manuel makes his way. Walking first and now breaks into a run. Slammed, pitched up outside the off stump. Hit it well, but needed to get it either the left or the right of the extra cover to the back of the rope. There is man right back in the boundary. Goes in once more, none for 29. Third over. That's lofted as he looked to drive and didn't get to the pitch. They lofted away. They were able to get a single as it dropped well short of cover. But not the kind of progress they were looking for, Greg. They've gone up with that single to 30.
Yes, we're going in this over there. But Craig Emmanuel really bowling tight red, not giving too much away. After some free deliveries, just one run given.
Yes. It's a good change. But we had a bundle of runs in the first over. By-man report 20. 9 off the second. What we'll finally get off the third is 30 without loss. We've lost the sunshine. Pandya not looking to hit that through the offside. But rehearsing a shot much more in keeping with what he should have done. He'll try to hit that through the line instead of hitting across the line. 30 without loss. The mid-off coming a little wrong to his right. Minor balls. And a wild shot by Alexander. So excellent first over as they ran by. They ran by. The keeper is really standing way back. Very furthest we have seen. Maybe not the front line keeper for Wonderful. Really standing back. So if they start off as soon as it's delivered, they might get home. And Yamani goes in to Alexander. Alexander goes back and hits high up at the splice. It jumped up on Alexander. And just a single to complete the over. Excellent over ball by Alexander. Only Craig Alexander conceding only 2 runs. 3 of us. They are 32 without loss, Craig.
Yes, good over there by Craig Emmanuel. Really pulling the choke on the Stozel Coldport openers with the sort of flurry of a start that they had the last 2 overs. They have been severely pegged back. Just 9 and 4 runs respectively coming off.
So we will just get Greg to tell us who will be playing tomorrow in the double head. And in the meantime, it's this bit of Shalry. They're just pushing the batsman back. The ball was played out into the cover area and they went through for a very quick signal, but the cover had to move to his left, which gave them the opportunity. So it moves up to 33 on the board. None for 33. Alexander's 12. Henry's 18. It's Henry who in strike. Let's see how the right-hander will cope with Shalry. As he comes up once more. And that's hit back to the bowler. Diving attempt. He may have gotten the fingers to it. And went all the way down towards long on. The long off correction came in. They were able to pick it up. Almost hit straight past the bowler. Down towards the Dream 11 sign. But they've got more off of that, Greg.
Yes, just a bit more elevation.
Shalry bowls. He's on his back, gets the elevation and gets it out to mid-wicket. Big effort, at least to try and knock it back. Difficult to, in fact, get anything near it. And so that takes it up to 38 without loss, 40 without loss. 14 on board, bowling very short there. And so it's signal has been changed to 4. That's played off the front foot as he whips that out towards the forward square leg area, rotates the strike, and Henry will come into his own. Alexander's gone up to 17. The partnership of 39. And he comes back and hits it straight to square leg. It was short. He got in his wicket and just didn't plate it away. Good delivery eventually, a dot ball. And he move in, and that's slapped away. They'll take a quick signal. The buck hard, this might be overthrows. Yes, it goes over the boundary.